great about this is that this 1% that buys our political system. Listen, let me just say this too: that the 1%, they're Americans too. They get to vote. We don't want to take their voting rights away, right? And they can run for office even. Right? Right? But here's the deal. Here's the deal. In a democracy, if you're in the 1%, that means you get 1% of the votes. That's it. That's it. Yeah, you see, they know that, and that's why they're frightened of this movement. They're frightened because they see this thing taking off like wildfire. It's already so huge, and it's not even organized.
Share the wealth.
The media wants to know who organized this. Who organized this demonstration? Who organized all this? And I'll tell you who organized it. Bank of America organized it. Chase Bank organized it. Citibank organized it. ExxonMobil organized it. BT organized it. That's who organized this. Thank you. Thank you, Bank of America, for organizing this.
Help the people.
By destroying the lives of so many people. By ensuring that we have a country with 50 million people with no health insurance. By ruining and decimating our educational system so that we now have 40 million functional illiterate adults in this country. 40 million who cannot read and write above a 4th grade level. That's the country that they've helped to create. Because of course, when it comes to education, what more do they need? As long as they graduate people who can operate the cash register at McDonald's or greet you when you come into Walmart. Because they've helped to organize this by foreclosing on so many. I just read this piece by William Greider this morning that of the 55 million home mortgages that are out there, 1 in 5 are currently underwater or facing foreclosure. That's unbelievable. What is this? Like, of that number, that's over 10 million. The foreclosure crisis, as they call it, is, you know, they know the other shoe is going to drop here. They know because they've been holding the shoe. And that's why they're holding on to so much money. You know, they've taken $2 trillion out of circulation that banks and corporations are sitting on in their bank accounts. They never did that before. Before, they would invest the money to make more money, and they would invest it by, say, building a factory and employing people to make things, and then the people take those wages and buy things, and then that's generally how it ran for some period of time. But now they've been trying to figure out for the last 20 or 30 years, how can we make money but not pay people? Or pay them less? Or not pay for their health insurance? Or whatever. How can we have that woman over there on the assembly line working the jobs of 2 or 3 people instead of just 1 person? That's the game that they figured out ever since Reagan, thank you California, was elected president. I'm sorry. I mean, you know, it's such a wonderful state, and then it gave us Nixon and Reagan too. So, go figure.
We're sorry.
Okay, someone has apologized on your behalf. We and the rest of America accept the apology.
Now you got Jerry Brown.
Has Jerry Brown come out yet?
Next week.
Wow. The mayor of San Francisco been here?
Good.
This is the beauty of this movement. It really doesn't need the Jerry Browns or the Naomi Kleins or really the Micheal Moores. In fact, I've spent the last 20 years making movies about corporate America and Wall Street. I've occupied it before it was occupied. I was arrested there. I was arrested there with Rage Against the Machine about 10 years ago. And I'll tell you, this is a hell of a lot better than just me and 4 guys in a rock band trying to get arrested when it's happening all over the country. It's so huge, and the police forces don't know what to do about it because the people outnumber their force, their violent force. can't stop. I was over in Oakland yesterday. The police have backed down. The police are nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
People won. The people won. The people stood up. You see, what they were hoping for after Wednesday night was that no one would come back Thursday night. That's what they were counting on. But everybody came back, plus some. And they came back in larger numbers on Friday. And they're back there again today. This isn't going away. This isn't going away.
We're here. What's next?
Well, that's a lot of the media also, they want to know what's next. What are we going to do? What candidates are we going to get behind? Yeah. Let me explain the derisive laughter that you just heard. We have all spent a large portion of our lives getting behind candidates, getting behind bills in Congress, voting. And I'm not saying that we're not gonna stop voting, but we are no longer going to depend on the old model of getting something done. That hasn't worked. That hasn't worked. And I mean, if we can actually elect Barack Obama to the presidency, something I thought something like that would never happen in my lifetime. Even with that, today 13 American soldiers killed in Afghanistan. All right? The war is still going on. What is that war? Why is that still going on? That is not why he was elected to the White House. He's made Bush's war Obama's war. We all understood he inherited a huge mess given to him by Bush. The economy, the wars. But he was elected to do something about it. And to use the excuse that, well, the Republicans are going to filibuster. They're going to filibuster. He never made them filibuster. You know, they just went, they've already sent us a note saying they're going to filibuster. Okay, well, we better not do anything now. You know, I mean, that is not the mandate he was given. He was elected by a 10 million vote margin. That's 3 times what Bush beat Kerry with, even if you don't count Ohio.
Or Florida.
So this movement is not about getting behind a candidate or a bill right now. Right now, our main job, remember, this is only 6 weeks old today. All right? In 6 weeks, just 6 weeks old, this movement already has, according to the National Journal, the support of 59% of the American people. If you're my age or older, you remember other movements, the feminist movement, the civil rights movement, the anti-Vietnam War movement, the hippie movement, and anything else that emanated from San Francisco. But did we have 59% of support for the American people in the 6th week of the movement?
No!
No!
Years!
This is years it took! Years!
Years for the anti-war movement.
You know, just with gay rights, last month was the very first national poll. Very first time the majority of Americans, 54%, said they believed that gay marriage should be the law of the land. Woo! The majority of Americans. But how long did that take?
Years.
Too long.
200.
This movement in 6 weeks, 59% say they agree with the aims and goals of this movement. And yet the media keeps asking the question, what are your aims? What are your goals? I think it's quite clear by the name, Occupy Wall Street. Period. And if we need a definition of that, it means we, the people, want to occupy the economy that is ours. This is a democracy. It's as simple as that. We're demanding democracy. This is our democracy movement. And I want to just say something here and give some credit to somebody, because people, they keep asking again, well, who started this? Who's the instigator of this? You know, and I say, first of all, we're all instigators. And there are no leaders because we're all the leaders of this movement.
Yes.
And there's no spokesperson. We're all spokespeople. they're trying to find out who instigated this. We owe a lot to the Arab Spring and the democracy movements that were and are taking place across the Arab world. And we owe a lot to that young man in Tunisia who couldn't take it anymore and set himself on fire to make this statement that really ignited this movement. But even before that, what got him upset, what got him politically charged, was that he read the truth about the corruption of his own government that was supplied to him by WikiLeaks. And where did WikiLeaks get that information? Allegedly. From a young private, a gay soldier by the name of Bradley Manning. Woo! And let's give it up to Bradley Manning. It is completely sad and tragic and criminal that he is still in jail, having not been charged with a crime or put on trial, after doing a very brave thing that when you draw the connecting lines from A to B to C, we're here in part today because of his courage. And we must not forget that. Will you promise me that?
Yeah. You should rename it Bradley Manning Plaza.
Bradley Manning Plaza, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. There we go. Can we try to reach some consensus on this? People in favor? Opposed? All right. Thank you for having me here today at Bradley Manning Plaza. So, in conclusion, I'm going to head over to out to Grass Valley, because I'm trying to also go to these small towns where this is happening and support their efforts. So I'm going to go up to Nevada County, because if it's happening there, you know it's happening everywhere. You're not alone. And if people ask you, well, what has this accomplished? Occupy SF. What has this accomplished? It's already had some incredible victories. Victory number one, it has killed despair. The despair that so many Americans have felt. So many people thinking there's no way out of this. I'm alone, or it's just me and a few friends. Now they've seen across the country that they're not alone, that they are in fact in the majority. This movement has eliminated that feeling of despair. The second thing it's done, it has killed apathy. It has killed apathy. There are so many people who haven't been involved, who've just been sitting at home. Angry and upset, but figuring, what can I do? A question that should never be asked in a democracy. What can I do? In the sense of, in other words, there's nothing I can do. That is over. That is over. People, every week this thing builds. Every week it grows. Because people are coming out of that place of apathy. The third thing that this has done is it has changed the national discussion. They don't talk about the debt ceiling anymore, do they? Or the deficit. That was just 6 weeks ago. That's what they were talking about 6 weeks ago. That's gone now, isn't it? This is what they're talking about. The issues of this. That is what they're talking about. You helped to change that. We have taken it to the source. You have taken it to the source. You have done something that is going to be historic. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Occupy San Francisco.